Hey guys, I'm Morthadon, and we are here for Made in Abyss Season 2, Episode 1. So, if you didn't catch the movie, I did a reaction to the third movie. I have no reaction to Season 1 because I started my channel before, I watched Made in Abyss before I started my React channel and stuff like that. So, unfortunately, no reaction to that, but you can see me react painfully to the movie, and, and yeah, also, if you happen to be new here, the thing I'd like to tell you guys right off the bat is that I do full-length reactions here, timer-based, so there's going to be a timer in this corner. You guys can sync up to it. There will be like 15 seconds worth of footage to help you guys sync up, but that's it. And other than that, you guys need to have your own episode. You need to sync up with me, and we watch the entire thing together rather than it being like a little cut-up 10-minute thing that some other channels do. I just like to give you guys a heads up because not everyone likes to sync up, and I don't want you to sit here and listen to me ramble and everything only to find out that there's no reaction for you to watch because you don't want to do the syncing up thingy and you end up leaving pissed, you know? But anyways, also, I like to mention it as... actually, you know what? No, I'm not going to mention it here. Basically, I usually mention my Patreon and talk about it a bit, but there's actually no benefits for this show, so I won't sell it out too much. Obviously, I just said it, but anyway. Yeah, and I am watching subbed, not dubbed, so I always forget to make that distinction to people, but obviously you guys can watch it however you want since you're syncing it up with me, technically, you know? So, but I am watching subbed. But yeah, last season, essentially, I mean, I guess the movie's a continuation, but last season we ended off with the sad tale of Nanachi and Miti, and Nanachi ended up joining the adventure, and then in the movie, they confronted Brondrud and went through a bunch more trials and turbulations and everything, but ended up making it to the 6th layer, the Sea of Corpses, which is the point of no return. So now they officially cannot go back, except maybe... I don't know if Nanachi now can. Now that she has transformed into what she is, can she go up a layer and because her humanity is kind of already lost? Or because it's happening a second time, would she then turn into a gross meaty kind of thing, you know? But yeah, I'm not sure, but either way, you know, and I guess Reg could technically go back up because he's not affected by the Curse of the Abyss. But anyway, for the most part, it's for Rico, it's the point of no return. She can no longer go up. So, and she has a white whistle. Ugh, man. But anyways, I also have some popcorn here that I will be munching on, some movie theater popcorn leftovers. So you might see me eating that every now and then. So if you're wondering like what I'm shoving in my mouth, that's what it is. But anyways, guys, let's get started. I'm excited for season 2 to see what it has to offer. So we're gonna start here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. I'll do a more comprehensive like talk about the show in general too in the discussion at the end. But trying to adjust this little table that's under me. Compass. Who are you? Oh god. Oh Jesus. Ugh. Dude, this show is so fucked up sometimes. Sometimes. Lately, it's been all the time. Ugh. Ugh. Jesus. Ugh. Hmm. What the fuck? Ugh. Can't this show ever give us some happiness? No. Man, a ship. Ugh. Seasick or something? Yeah. Ugh. Who are these people? Wazukyan? I have no idea how you say that. I think I wrote it down right, though. Well. Ugh. So. They're headed to the abyss, right? Obviously. Like the man-eating chasm that leads to the center of the earth that has the golden city. Is this when they're first discovering, like, the pit way in the past, or is this current time? Are these just more adventurers hearing stories about it? Beleth. Hmm. Interesting. Ugh. Hmm. So is that shitty guy on this trip too? Is he still here? Or did she manage to like get away from him or was sold by him or something? I'm a little confused. I don't know what all this is. The first time we got her name. Vueko. Jeez. That is one hell of a storm. Oh shit, damn, they had like 8 ships, and now there's only 2? Oh. So they might be the only ones left. Oh, is this... they see the island? Maybe? Or is this somewhere else? Maybe. I mean... Interesting. Ooh. The Golden City of the Scorching Sun. I actually didn't know what the season was called. I'm guessing that's the season name, not the episode name. Hmm. Is there going to be a city? I imagine there'd be a better way to get here. So I feel like this might be the original settlers. Yeah, there's no city here. So this is the original settlers, the original people that found the abyss. The compass pointed to the darkness. Okay. Wow. Wait, so is this entire season going to be like origins or interesting? I didn't even read the synopsis of the season, by the way, guys, or watch any trailers or anything. Oh, there's an indigenous tribe here. Hmm. I'm sure for convenience sake they're going to speak their language, but the question I have is, do they? Or should they? They don't have metalworks or anything, potentially? Or at least nothing of that nature? Hmm. Oh, the necklace. Okay, so they don't speak the language. And this guy is apparently very smart to be able to adjust the language so quickly. Are they going to give it to him? I mean, it got them where they needed to go. Do they still need it? Doesn't Reg have this compass or something similar? He had it in season 1, I think. We saw him like looking at it. And I'm sure nothing terrible will happen. Ugh! Dude, the eyes are so creepy sometimes in this show. She's just like creeping back there with these big ass eyes. The capital of the unreturned. Jesus. She's like 5 years old. Ugh. He's just always eating random shit. The story's progressing pretty quickly, so I don't know if it'll be the entire season. Guess we'll find out. I can't believe the first episode's kind of almost over. I just glanced over at the time. Oh. The curse. They're discovering the curse for the first time. At least a fucked up guy doesn't seem to be here. Jeez. Well, I guess if they're not focused on going up, obviously they might end up going up accidentally. And they made it all the way here. You need a white whistle to activate it, right? Or was that just the rules that were invented by... Oh. Interesting. And we're back. I wonder if we... I mean, I guess it makes sense not to show deeper than we've already seen, right? I wonder if it's possible to run into these people. That was Hmm, a really long time ago, though, so I don't think it'd be possible. But they mentioned time compression, right? I'll talk more about that in discussion. I just want to mention that I thought of it. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe we'll see like the remnants of those people or something. Oh. I'm just trying to think of like what we learned from that, and I feel like it's got to be something that we don't know yet because everything we saw them discover, we already knew, right? Ah, okay. Yeah. So how did the people of the past get it to run? That's a question I have. If they don't have a white whistle to make it run. Yeah. Yeah, that would not be very funny. Jeez. That's crazy. So there's like an ocean they travel through. Well, that seems like bones. Sea of corpses? Is that the yep. Interesting. It's crazy to think that this goes all the way through to a like non-watery area, you know? Jesus. No, well, let's just all ugh. Unnecessary show. Ooh, kind of golden, like a golden city. Even more water. Yo, look at that. It's like a building or something. Ugh. Hmm. Damn. The depths of the sixth layer, the capital of the unreturned. Alright. Interesting. Very interesting. I'm really curious. I like the idea of learning about, like, some of the original people that adventured down here, you know? But I never even touched the popcorn. I was too into it. So what they say there? Capital of the unreturned. Yeah, one of my favorite things about the show is the adventure. Like, I think that's what keeps me liking the show, is seeing new areas, it reminds me of, like, either when I play, like, a new mod pack on Minecraft, or when I, like, first started playing Minecraft, and, like a long-ass time ago when it first released, and you found, like, different biomes and everything. Obviously, there weren't many back then, but that's why I say new mod packs, because sometimes mod packs have, like, crazy biomes. But that idea of, like, oh, what's here, you know, and that little bit of, like, anxiety and worry about it being dangerous and stuff. But what is this? Is this preview? Okay, yeah, this preview. That is going to be it, guys, for episode 1 of season 2. Yeah. So, kind of what I was saying was I like the idea of discovering new things, you know? Like, I obviously don't wish I was around at the time, because it wouldn't be as a, you know, relatively comfortable place to live, but back when we were still able to go off and, like, discover parts of the Earth that aren't, you know, on the map, kind of thing. But now that we have almost everything mapped out, except for some of our, you know, deeper parts of our oceans, it, like, we don't get that sense of, like, adventure. I don't know if I'd be the one to want to do it, but I just want to, like, hear about it, you know? Like, I'd love if, like, to get more, like, space travel stuff in my lifetime and be able to hear them be like, hey, we made it to this planet and found, like, all this crazy shit, you know? But yeah, because that's really, like, where most of that stuff is. But yeah, so, like, seeing these adventurers who have come down here and seeing all this for the first time, it's really interesting, because they don't know as much as we know. Yeah, so it's like, it's really curious to see it. They're learning by, you know, happenstance and sacrificing people in a way to learn about, like, the curse and everything. Like, as we saw, they had in the elevator, they had a meaty kind of looking person. I imagine one of their people went up too high and turned into that, I would assume, you know? Unless I guess you could say they stumbled across it, like, they stumbled across it on the way there and took it with them. One thing I'm curious of is if I go back here and take a good look at it. I didn't really get a super good look. Do we know? Oh, interesting. That's how they got down. It has, like, a white whistle kind of thing. Huh. So in that ritual spot where Rico took a dump, there used to be a, you know, meaty kind of person. I imagine that used to be a person who has a white whistle. So is that entity that sits there in the center of that thing what brings it up and down before, like, Bondrewd came here and they learned, like, how to do it themselves, and then they didn't need it anymore, so they probably didn't leave it there? Because those, like, when you're like that, you can live forever, unless that was only a meaty trait, you know? It seems like you're able to live forever if you become one of those beasts. So technically, if like, people never interfered, maybe that one that we saw there in the past from them would still be there, kind of thing. Maybe. I could be wrong about that, but interesting. That makes me wonder. I mean, obviously there's an indigenous tribe here, so it's not like these adventurers are the first ones to ever go in the pit. Like, they they exile people to the pit all the time. But I wonder how, like we kind of know from the movie how a white whistle is formed. I'm still a little confused by it, like by how you actually trigger the event. You know, like how, like supposedly it was something that Prushka wanted, right? But like, how does that event actually get triggered to like essentially turn into one of those? You know, I feel like I'm still a little confused by that. And so I guess I'm just really interested to see, like, I don't know. I guess we'd have to go back even further to find out what this thing is and everything. I wonder if this has been here since the ritual site, you know, was created. Like, was this thing put in place here to ascend people, like, up and down kind of thing? But anyway. Either way, we have this new girl. She has obviously a shitty backstory. I gotta say, like, I understand wanting to give characters, like, feel sympathetic for them and everything, but man, do they go hard on so many characters in this show just having these shitty lives. And I guess in a way, like, you could cop it up to the idea of like only like people who have shitty lives would bother to even go adventuring for these, you know, these pits, kind of like how they said these adventurers are people who were cast out by their communities and have nowhere to go, so they went off to search for the golden city kind of thing. But yeah, where the compass stands straight up, but Reg also had seemingly a compass very similar to that. So I wonder if, like, is that going to become relevant, because they use that to find the pit, you know? Is there any relevance to that compass after you find the pit? I'm curious. Maybe once you start going down into the pit, it leads you somewhere. Like, what if it goes like straight up when you're actually at the pit, but then as you get down, when you get to like the bottom of the pit, it'll lead you where you need to go to reach whatever's down there, you know? I'm not sure. But yeah, we got a couple other names. Wazukyan, who seem to think, I don't know if he does or not, but it seems to seem he has some kind of prophetic powers, you know? Saying that he was able to predict Vuiko joining them, and whatever he like adventures off to find, you know, his hypotheses of it being there are always correct. So either he's just very smart, or he manipulates things to make people think he has these abilities, or he actually does have these abilities, because who knows, this place has a giant crazy pit with crazy monsters and magical artifacts. Maybe there can be like prophet kind of people in this world. So but yeah, we have Betlaf, who just seems to be kind of like a very smart, like worldly traveled kind of person, seemingly. Obviously I don't really know much about him other than the fact that, you know, he had these thoughts on what beauty is, very very deep thoughts and everything, and then he was able to decipher their language. Like, who knows how long they were in that camp for? I think it's possible that they could have like time skipped us a little bit and just didn't tell us, because like, or it's just an anime thing to just speed up time. But they were there for not very long, and they somehow, because like, how, I don't even know how you'd begin to like communicate language. Like, if you met a group of people who do not speak your language at all, how do you even start to translate, you know? Like, I feel like you'd have to do things like hold up a apple, and they say what they call an apple, and then you know that, okay, they say waku or whatever, and that means apple for them. Like, I feel like it'd be kind of complicated to sit there and try to reverse engineer a language without having any kind of like basis to start, really. But I know nothing about language and all that, and how you could go about doing that. Maybe there is a way, you know? I've heard there's a lot of like pattern recognition when it comes to languages, where like, if you like, there's ways that you can even like look at things that are just like scribbles, and you can tell whether it's an actual language based on the way that the patterns flow and everything and stuff like that. So like, I don't really have an example to give, but yeah, like someone who has never heard of the English language that is like a master of languages, you know, if you just pretend that English was like this small native tribe, they could go and like look at their like writings or cave wall paintings or whatever they have, you know, and be able to tell whether it's actual languages that they have there or if it was like made up by someone as a prank, you know, they're able to tell. But anyway, interesting. They mentioned that that girl is one of the 3 stages, which I don't really know what that is. And she said, like, is it okay for me to be one of the 3 stages since I don't have any abilities like Wazukan does? So like, I don't know what the 3 stages is or whatever. Maybe we'll learn more about that. But yeah. The act of traveling through like this sea of like bones and water and everything was pretty crazy. Like that was a lot of water. It's crazy that you can actually like, I guess like I just start thinking about the functionality of that machine that they're in that brings them all the way down. Like, first of all, I wonder who like created that. I mean, obviously whatever ancient civilization lived here before were like, oh, I wonder what's deeper in this pit, you know, so we're gonna make this device that brings us down there kind of thing, because obviously it's clearly a device. This isn't like a, I mean, I imagine it's a device. Obviously you could argue that like this world, this like whole pit thing is like magical and people turn into whistles, so maybe some monster turned into this thing and now it functions as an elevator or something, and it was like a naturally occurring event, but probably not. In this kind of world, literally anything is possible, which is why I don't like to say that it's like impossible that this wasn't man-made, you know? But either way. Yeah. I had the thought of, I mentioned it in the reaction briefly, but like time compression, Ozen, I don't know if it's like real or if it's like just a not a figment of your imagination, but kind of like an effect of like being that deep, making time pass, you know, potentially slower, where it's like, oh, it's been a couple years since Liza took her last dive, you know, maybe for her it's only been like a week kind of thing. I don't know if that could be the case, but if that was the case, if it really was like a straight up like time compression phenomena, I think it could be possible that these people are still alive, even though they traveled down this pit, I think, thousands of years before. I can't remember. I just watched the recap movies too, but I can't quite remember how many years it was. Either way, it was more than a human's lifespan, you know? From the time where people discovered the pit and started building around it in the movies, they showed that, where it showed like a couple little huts, and then, you know, it showed like a couple buildings, and then all of a sudden like a city is there. It was like quite a lot of years, more than a human lifespan. So which means that these people, if there is no time compression event going down, then these people are dead as hell, unless they found a way to become immortal or something down here. So I was just trying to think about like what part do these people play in the story for our main characters? Like, why are we seeing it? Because obviously our main characters know more than these guys do. So like sometimes you'd show something like this if the audience would learn something about the pit. And I mean, I guess they could. Technically, they could show us, now that we're at the 6th layer or deeper, they could show us what these guys in the past went through, and then it makes us more fearful when we see Rico and them, who don't know, you know, maybe don't know some of this stuff, encounter it. And then we could be like, oh shit, no. Like, we just saw, you know, Vuiko go up this, you know, touch this thing and it flung her upwards and she turned into a Miti or something. Like, don't go near that, Rico. You know, I don't know. But I'm it's not that I don't like it, I'm just really curious as to where we're going with it. But yeah. Anyway. I'm really intrigued. I love the adventure aspect. Like I said, probably the worst part of this show, like this series for me, is how much, like, I'm okay with fucked up shit. I usually like fucked up shit, but usually the fucked up shit I enjoy seeing doesn't happen so much to kids that are so young. And also some of it just gets weird. Like the pooping scene, I don't think we really needed. Like, obviously, I guess if that's where they're going with Vuko's backstory of, obviously it seemed like she was raped by this man, um but it just seems like more and more, like, season one wasn't too bad. Like, season one bugged me a little bit where they were like, talking about Reg's penis, sticking things up his butthole or whatever, and you know talking about how his penis gets hard constantly. They only did it like probably 4, maybe 5 times throughout season one, maybe a little bit more. But then the movie, I felt like they did it like every like 10 minutes. They were like firing off something about like Reg's penis getting hard, or showing one of the characters like practically naked and they're like 10-year-olds. I don't know. It's like, it's just really weird to me how much they show of it. And it's probably the one thing keeping this show from being like one of my favorites. And now we have here this poor little kid being raped. We have Rico taking a dump. We have. I don't know if it was implying that like they tried, or maybe they have some kind of like medical know-how to know that this other poor little girl can't have kids. I don't know if that means they tried to get her pregnant and it wasn't working and that's why she's exiled to the pit, or if they just have, if they're able to somehow know that she isn't able to have kids. So I don't know, but it's just like a lot of like kid sexual stuff that's just like kind of weird to put into a show like this messed up. Like, I don't know. It's weird to me, but probably the one thing keeping me from like really enjoying the show, but I mean, I enjoy the show, but I think this could be, if it didn't have all that stuff that just made me feel weird. Like, I'm okay with the messed up stuff of like Meaty being turned into a blob by this like fucked up, essentially like not super villain, but like villain kind of thing. That's like the level of fucked up I'm okay with, but it's just weird when you start seeing like sexual stuff with kids, especially with me. I'm friggin' old ass man approaching 30. I don't know. Maybe if you're like a high school kid or something, it doesn't affect you as much. But I feel like even if you're at like middle school or high school, it'd still be like weird to see a young kid like this, because that's even younger than them. But anyways, that's what they chose to do. So, but I will still be watching the show, and I'm still curious to see all the adventurous parts and seeing all the cool new biomes of this pit, and I want to know what's at the bottom, and is Liza still alive, and like, is there any kind of society down here, like, who were like the original inhabitants that created all this crazy shit and all these like ridiculous, like insane relics and all that. I want to like learn more about all that, and that's what keeps me going. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you hit that subscribe button. And also check out my Patreon if you want to see more from me. I have early access for other shows, not for this one because I watch this as it airs. So check that out if you're interested. And I have Patreon exclusives on there too through the Patreon exclusive tab. You can see things like Lucifer or Mob Psycho Season 2, all kinds of other shows that haven't been quite released yet to my YouTube. So check that out if you're interested, and I will see you in my future reactions. Bye-bye.